Was that the greatest achievement by an Indian side? And if not, what's above it?
I think the Gabba test at 2020-21 will come higher because India hardly had any players left, and they were playing against one of the all-time great Australian teams, which had Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, Lyon. I think it's the greatest attack ever put together. If you're looking at 4 people in one attack, Smith was there, Labuschagne was there. It was one of the greatest Australian teams at Brisbane, at Gabba, where they're not lost in 35 years or 32 years or something like that. And India hardly had any players left. India had no bowling attack.
Work experienced kids, net bowlers. It was a bit random.
Bit of everyone, right?
You could even argue this might not be their greatest achievement at the Oval. Because they won at the Oval in, what year was that, 71, 72? Went their first big win against England in England. So they've even had a great moment at the Oval.
Did England have any fast bowlers at that time?
England was still a decent side, yeah. I mean, this is different, obviously. And that one at the Oval, they did it with spin on the last day. It was an Indian-style way to win it, whereas this was seam bowling and quicks into the wicket. It was maybe more modern India.
But overall, series-wise, though, what was the expectation from India coming into this series?
5-0.
The fact that 5-0 to India or 5-0 to England? Which one?
Both.
Yeah. I was thinking 3-2 to India.
To India?
Yeah.
So you came into the series...
Is that when you thought Shami was fit, though?
No. That's the prediction I made. Match day -1 at Headingley on Cricinfo shows.
I had 3-2 to India when Shami was fit, and then 3-2 to England when he wasn't.
I did not trust the England bowling attack at all to get 20 wickets. India are a very good batting lineup. They were not tested, but I always felt that the batting lineup was better for the absence of the 2 superstars, because there was young blood coming in. There were more. They were not, they had not been worked over. They had not been so analysed by these attacks. They were new guys, India's batting talent there's no dearth of batting talent in India. There could be 3-4. If we leave these 3-4 out, India could still put up a test batting lineup. It was the bowling that was an issue.
Right.
But I still felt that India's bowling, especially with Siraj, was superior to England's bowling.
So even by me asking this question, am I overplaying then maybe this achievement from India? You've gone, India could have won the series before a ball was bowled. You've said India could have won a series. The fact that maybe it's a drawn series, India might be like, yeah, that's kind of what we expected. Do you think maybe in this country, because there was no Kohli, there was no Ashwin, there was no Rohit Sharma, there's a new India captain, we maybe kind of downplayed India's chances a little bit?
No, I think most people gave them a decent chance over here. I think what you're reacting to is the fact that they were 2-1 down, and they should have lost the last test, except for they batted for basically 2 days. And they should have lost this one at one stage as well,
sure.
Right? So if you think about the last 6.5 days of this series, India could have ended
should
up...
have been 3-1 going to the Oval, shouldn't it?
Right? It should have been 3-1 going into the Oval. It could have been 4-1, and then we all would have been... And then Gambia would have been out of a job, and we...
No, don't be so confident.
Gambia might have been out of a job. Definitely his assistant coaches would have been out of a job. They might still be out of jobs.
Anybody else?
Lots of people would have lost jobs. And
Monty Morkel?
Yeah,
we like Monty Morkel, don't we?
He might have been struggling for a gig. Even talkSPORT's Ryan Dendescarter might have been struggling to keep his gig over there. So it would have turned on them. And then 6.5 days of them fighting back and playing it the way they have. And then the emotional high of stealing this game at the end when they thought they'd lost it. I think that's probably what you're reacting to more than anything else. If you look on paper, these teams are pretty level all the way through.
Evenly matched, yeah.
The one thing that we saw all the way through, and maybe and Sid might be able to talk to this, maybe the Indian team sort of got more mature as they went on, but the English team is old, right? They're experienced. They play a lot of test cricket. A lot of them have played a lot of first-class cricket, and they played like that all the way through the series. They're not better than the Indian side, right? Certainly not on paper, but they are a lot more experienced, and they won the big moments. Towards the end of the series, India start winning the big moments, right?
Yeah, I mean, in the 2 test matches that India lost,
yeah,
they should have won them both, shouldn't they, really? They found ways to lose games they should have won.
Okay, Lords, I would say, could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Lords was tight.
Lords was a bit of a coin toss,
yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah.
But Headingley, there's no way India should have lost that match. The worst result that India should have got out of Headingley should have been a draw. If you score 600, England bat well, fair play. We go 0-0 into Edgbaston. But there's no way India should be losing that test. India thought, after reaching 430 for 3, their attitude was kind of, okay, even if we let's have a go, even if we get out in the next 2 hours or 3 hours, we'll have scored 100 runs in the worst case scenario. They didn't ever imagine it could be just 30 runs. They thought the job was done. Even in the second innings, they thought the job was done, which is what they stopped thinking after that. And I think Shubman Gill actually led on that front, because he was the first one who got out chipping Shoaib Bashir to deep mid-wicket at Headingley. After that, he said, no, I'm not going to give away my wicket. You get me with a good ball, fair enough. But I don't care. I will just keep batting, which is what he did at Edgbaston. He scored 200 and 100. Then India had enough runs to work their way.
So we're saying, obviously, going to Australia is ranks higher. If we then look at, World Cup wins, obviously we're talking about
83.
Let's skip Test series. Let's skip Test series.
Test series. You got Australia, the two in Australia. Anything else that immediately jumps to mind? Or
2000-2001 Border Gavaskar Trophy. India had no belief.
Sure.
India were not used to beating Australia. There was no Anil Kumble. India did not have any bowling. One 18-year-old rookie comes in, takes 30 wickets in 3 Test matches. Dravid and Lakshman play the innings of
they're out of that game and they come back and seal it.
Yeah. So that might still shade this, because it was against a world-beating Australian side who was on a 16-match winning streak.
Yeah.
To stop that juggernaut and then to win the series, and really, really high-quality cricket every day of the series. Even if you look at Australia's win in the first test, Adam Gilchrist's innings, Matthew Hayden was superb throughout the innings, even in the test that Australia lost. So, that would be also higher on my list than this one.
And the first win against England is really important for everything that follows in Indian cricket as well. So it's not far away from the top 4 or 5.
We're saying top 5 possibly then.
Oh, it's definitely top 5, isn't it?
Yeah. Before the series, I would have not been, so much in agreement with you on top 5. But
the way the injuries have gone and the way they fought back in the last 7 days. Yeah.
And it's 5 Test series. 5 Test series has its own rhythms, its own demands.
They just looked exhausted, right?
Yeah.
They looked like kids who had played adult cricket for the first time because they'd been stretched in a way that they don't usually get stretched.
But they also outlasted Ben Stokes.
Yeah.
Which speaks to their fitness and their resilience. And again, it always comes back to Mohammad Siraj. Then on the final spell of the series, he bowled his second fastest ball. He's bowled only 2 balls over 145 kilometers an hour. One of them was in this spell.
That was the full toss and missed leg stump, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So when he did that, we were all on comms and we looked up at the screen and we were like, he was almost dead yesterday. How has he bowled 90 miles an hour today?
He's never dead.
Yeah, and it's just, and then I watched him after that, walking around the field. He looked like he was a 70-year-old man. He's like, he could barely move. So I think that tells you of, they pushed through something. Prashi Krishna was being crumpled on the boundary just to get him back out there. They didn't have a lot left, but that is part of the legacy of what we just saw, right? The fact that they probably needed a 4-seamer.
I was coming to that. It shouldn't have been that way.
Yeah, they should have had a 4-seamer.
Where was Jarrod to call when you needed him, right?
Oh, well, they wouldn't have bowled him anyway. But if they had the 4-seamer, who knows which way the game goes. But I tell you what, the other 3 bowlers would have had to be worked into the ground.
Sure.
No, the argument the team management makes is that then we wouldn't have had the 50 runs Karun Nair scored, or we wouldn't have had the 50 runs that Jadeja scored. For me, I think either Jadeja or Washington should have gone out of this side if they were worried about batting and they wanted a specialist
Washington
batter.
could have batted at 3.
Yeah. I'm happy with Jadeja and Washington Sundar being seen as specialist batters.
Yep.
But the moment you start looking at them as all-rounders, you think you have 5 bowlers, but you don't. You actually bowl 95% of your overs with just 3 guys, which is what killed them almost did. Siraj doesn't die, as you said.
Never.
Yeah.
So we'll settle this. We're happy to put this, given the way the series panned out,
top 5.
In top 5. Happy days. Okay. I'm now going to ask you a question that I think if you work in cricket, I think this is a question that is going to be asked in the days and weeks to come. England, India, 2-2, summer of 2025. Going to come to you first, Jarrod. where does this rank, in your opinion, in terms of the greatest series we've ever witnessed?
I think if you go in modern cricket, it's on the long list.
Where does modern cricket start, out of interest?
How old are you?
2000?
Okay, around when I was born, I'm happy with that. And I can now contribute to this conversation, that's good.
Things that you were alive for, even if you
Is that
weren't
how
making
cricket
it.
works? Things
Around
that
the
I've
time
seen?
we were all born.
I was born a little bit before that. But
Yeah.
so I think if you go from there, it's probably in the top 5 to 10 series overall.
We're going higher than that, aren't we?
Well, it's already mentioned Border Gavaskar.
Sure.
You've got 05 Ashes as well. I think the 2013-14 Australia, South
Australia
Africa
and South Africa, great
is
series.
Just an incredible
Ryan
series.
Harris bowls the last ball, takes the last wicket, walks straight to the surgery table.
I'm not even sure he walked. I think he was carried
Yeah.
straight to the gurney. That was an incredible series as well. So there's been some great series. And so there was
Border Gavaskar Trophy in India 2016-17, the most acrimonious series I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Came down to the last test.
Do you remember that the Australian newspapers ran a whole piece comparing Virat Kohli to Donald Trump? It was like,
Tell us more.
That was a spicy series, man. There was
Yeah.
so much nonsense going on. I complained to like BCCI and Cricket Australia because they were like flaming it. I was like, you don't need to flame it. These fans are out of
Yeah.
control. That was an incredible
There were
one.
press officers hiding behind the standee in press conferences, seeing what is going on in the opposition team's press conference.
Yeah.
Really?
It reached that level, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
as
petty.
a journalist, you would arrive in a city and like open up your phone and you get messages from the team going, you need to mention this, you need to from the
Really?
team. It was
But
incredible.
give us, for those that haven't seen too much of that series, tell us a little bit more. What were the key kind of things that ended up having Virat Kohli being compared to do? Are we allowed to do politics on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel?
Yes, we are.
Donald Trump's got a couple of mentions. There we go. Tell us more.
So it started with they basically had this ragging wicket, right? And Steve O'Keefe takes, was it 13 wickets,
10
14?
or 13. Steve Smith scores a century for the ages.
Yeah.
India lose that match. India lose the match when they lost the toss.
Yeah, exactly. So they prepared a wicket that's supposed to ruin Australia, and it ruins them. So then that gets everyone more upset. We get
And India at the fag end of a long season. It's like they've already played 10 tests in the
Yeah.
season. So which is why they went for this pitch, because they wanted to make quick work of the first test.
2-day win, happy days. We move on.
Yeah,
and even the next wicket in Bengaluru was like a little bit dodgy as well. And didn't Lyon take like an 8-for in the first innings? But Australia lost that one. And then the third one was in
While
Ranchi.
losing that one,
Yeah.
Stephen Smith is out LBW and he looks at the dressing room for cues
Oh yeah, brain fade.
on whether
to
I
review.
should
This is before there was a rule specifically stopping you from doing that, but
Yeah.
it's quite clear what he's doing. And then they were pretending, like the angles they were looking. There was also someone used like a moisture gauge on the pitch, right? A very normal thing to do. That was in Ranchi, wasn't it? And the Australian media were like, they're doctoring the pitch with this device. It's like,
have they never come to England where every test the ECB does?
yeah, it was just everything was like that, like
So
minute after
if
minute.
we thought there was needle in this series,
Oh,
controversy in this
you've
series,
seen nothing, bro.
16-17 comes the end.
No, you have
Yeah.
seen nothing, bro.
Yeah.
That series was...
You think Handshake Gate was bad? That whole series
For me, that was
Handshake
like
Gate.
crazy. I mean,
Okay,
that's
the
like the
only uglier series I've seen is Australia and South Africa when...
when
which
Warner and
culminated
de Kock
in the
and-
sandpaper, yeah.
The sandpaper series.
The only uglier
That was
series...
pretty bad.
Yeah. It was nasty, that series.
Yeah.
So that was nasty. There was drama. So if we can try and compile a list here, please, guys. We got
05?
We got
0501.
01, Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Yeah.
05 Ashes.
Yeah.
13-14
13-14
Australia and South
Yeah.
Africa. 16-17
Yep.
Australia and
Yeah.
India. I would say 23 Ashes as well.
So I
Okay.
had the other two I had on the list was that 20, and also I was doing plenty of research on this, obviously. South Africa and Australia, 08-09, lots of people had as
Oh, yeah.
as possibly
That-
not a
top
bad
kind
one,
of
yeah.
five
The
shouts.
blockathon to draw a test and then winning the series.
Yeah.
Was that in that series? That was the one where they chased 400, wasn't it?
It was this series, yeah.
Yeah.
Duminy scored
When
a lot of
Duminy,
runs, yeah.
oh my God, when JP Duminy was going to be the next best batter in the world.
When Perth just flattened out
Yeah.
after the first 2 days. And
You
you
that was a
could
pretty
bat
good
on
one.
forever.
There's also like there was a series where Sri Lanka come over to play England here, and both Test matches go
and
to
the
the
only
last
problem
over.
with that
Yeah.
is it's just 2 test series.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Was that when Jimmy got bumper.
You remember? And he went out there and Jimmy was
he started
crying
crying on the pitch. Yeah.
Oh my God!
I think he was crying on the pitch, wasn't he? Afterwards.
Well, he's crying I know he was crying with the press as well.
Yeah.
Like it was like that really hurt. Him. Only 2 tests. I'll give you that.
You can't have two test series, can you? Make a top 5.
I mean, but you can't take that. Then you just take away the privilege from Sri Lanka and New Zealand.
Yeah. Why would you want to do that, Jarrod?
I didn't hate.
Why do you hate Sri Lankan cricket?
I only brought up.
It was him.
Also, there was a series 2008 India and Sri Lanka when Ajanta Mendes had just come
that was
on.
good series.
Muralidharan and Ajanta Mendes. Oh, that series. India managed to win 1 test in that series.
But I'd have this above 23
I don't
Ashes.
think this isn't going to make top 5, is it? This one?
No. I think I'd have this series above 23 Ashes. No?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's still top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard if you look at if you discount a lot of the 2 test match series, then which you might have to.
Some of this is we are just showing off our
Yeah.
nerdery.
I think you'll
For
find.
me, I had 05 Ashes, then this, and that was it. Conversation over. This was going to be a 3-minute video. We move on.
I had that Island Pakistan series, of course, was just.
Was it Afghanistan, Bangladesh a couple of years ago? That was really good.
Yeah.
Right, I would like to make a top 5 here, though. Okay. In this country, we have the 05 Ashes at number 1, and nothing can touch that.
This might come within
It didn't
whispering
grab.
distance.
The difference is it didn't quite grab the zeitgeist of the entire country, right?
Because of the history, because of the first Ashes win in gazillions of years.
Yeah. It just did, and also not from free-to-air TV or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like it just had.
But it
all
came
those-
close, though.
Yeah,
Because I always think when I got mates that don't like
I was
cricket, they're
gonna ask you.
WhatsApping me
Yeah.
and are saying, "Oh goodness me, look at Chris Wokes, or look at the handshake." I know it's a big series, and that definitely happened over the last couple of weeks.
So I didn't get much of that, but if you got more
But
of
you
that,
know what?
then that's
Because
fair.
And the boy Lewis over here
That's
hates
also
cricket, and he's
because-
talking about it. So
That's
there we
also
go.
because 2005 there was no internet, no WhatsApp, no. You had to actually
Sounds awful.
call. You had to actually call people to discuss all these things. I don't do calls.
I don't know
I
what
don't
you
do
mean by
calls.
that.
I think 2005, that series is in the mainstream a lot more than this one is. Like, as in it's on, I don't know if LBC existed, but it's on LBC. Do you know what I mean? And all that. Everyone's talking about it like it's a bigger thing. This one is probably just below that. But for drama and shifts and on-field stuff and everything else, this one was still very, very high. But yeah, so I'd say it's top.
So we're going to put the 05 Ashes number 1.
I think so, yeah. And I would have 01 Border Gavaskar number 2 still.
Yeah,
Really, that's number 2.
Yeah.
really high quality cricket, and
Just ridiculous.
and the Indian team had no talent. Indian team was not used to standing
Also,
up to Australia.
you had a partnership after a follow-on where Australia was just going to. Anyway, that goes number 2.
Okay. Do you want to complete the top 5, Sid? Number 3?
13-14 Australia South Africa.
Yeah,
It was still better.
I
than
did ball
Really?
every ball for that series. It was
That was the first time I commentated with Neil Manthorp.
oh.
How was Manners doing, by the way? There was a little injury to Manners. Is he okay?
I can tell everyone that
Can we
Neil
get
Manthorp
exclusive,
is
please?
still alive. He's on his way to Darwin, isn't he? He's flying to Australia. Look at your face.
Oh,
you
yeah,
heard of
they got
Darwin?
a, no.
Darwin's in Australia.
But they got a Whitewater series, haven't they?
Yeah.
So he's going straight from here to
Yeah,
Australia.
I think he'll get his arm fixed. Him and Chris Wokes are getting some medical treatment.
What was, because we're doing lists, what was a greater fall, Neil Manthorp or our wonderful producer Josh when he fell in front of Zach Crawley before a pre-season interview? Have you seen that one?
No.
Oh, that was
Neil
good.
Manthorp handled his better because he sprung back into life like a professional.
Josh milked it, didn't
But Josh's fall is one of the great falls. Jeremy Coney watched it like 20 times on replay because of he falls in stages,
he?
doesn't he, Josh?
And also, I think I'm hoping for the edit, by the way, can we have the Josh fall so people know what it was?
And the Manners fall. We need to see all
I
these
also think
falls.
what makes the Josh fall so good is that Zach Crawley just stood there laughing at it.
Zach Crawley is almost falling himself from the laughter, isn't he? Brilliant.
Guys, we need to complete the list.
13-14.
3,
Yeah.
God, your handwriting is
16, 17 Border Gavaskar Trophy.
above this?
Yeah.
Okay, me too.
And this one comes in at 5, to clarify.
I'll do 5.
Yeah.
I can do
Oh, goodness me, it's got it in number 5.
5. And apologies to 23 Ashes.
Ashes series was really, but I don't think this series compared to the Ashes in 2023. The first test in that series was obviously incredible when Cummins got
And
the winning
Headingley.
runs. Headingley, yeah, but I think this overall series had more.
wasn't
No,
memorable
Headingley's
moments.
19, actually. What am I saying?
Lords.
No,
The
but
great
but
drama-
Headingley was still good though when England won by 3 wickets,
the
didn't they?
nastiness at Lords. Wasn't it?
Oh God, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think the Bairstow thing helped. Because that's what we talked about before, isn't it? That's when the handshakes, I think, did sort of start, but it never got to the level that we've seen with some of these other series.
It never got nasty. It was
Well,
just.
do you know what you really want?
Did
What you
any
want
Indian
is-
players get attacked in the pavilion?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you really want when one of those series goes off, it's when the politicians start making political points based on it, right? Not Asian politicians, because they do that regularly. But when the Western politicians who've shown no interest in cricket ever suddenly go, I can't believe the way Lords acted, then you're like, oh
Mel
wow.
Farrell wasn't on Piers Morgan Uncensored, was she? So I don't think
Is that-
that's quite got the mainstream. There we go. So to clarify then, Jarrod and Sid's top 5 series of all time. England-India 2025 just sneaks into the top 5. Number 1 is the 05 Ashes. 01, we got the Border Gavaskar. What have we got? 13-14, Australia, South Africa. And then 16-17, India,
Border
Australia.
Gavaskar.
I need to do more research on that series, by the way.
Mate, it's
Because
killer.
that sounds insane, Sid.
I reckon me and him should have written books on that. 'cause
Yeah,
it was,
you should do your own. I want to know. I wish you could do a whole episode just on that.
That was also, just let's finish off here. That was the series that Matt Renshaw played, and during his first innings, he suddenly
First
needed
day of the
to
series.
use the bathroom
For number 2,
because he was about to on the field.
right?
But he didn't tell anyone. He just sort of ran.
During a drinks break.
I don't even think it was during a drinks break.
It
I think-
was a drinks
Was it
break.
a drinks break?
Yeah.
And
How
but then
much-
Steve Smith's like, "Where are you going? Why are you leaving the field?"
But it's not normal though for players during drinks breaks. to go
Now
off.
it isn't, but
Oh,
back, then. But also, he didn't tell anyone.
Okay, he just went.
And no one knew what was happening. But Renshaw couldn't explain what was happening.
And I
because he was
hope-
about to.
Because the stadium it was being played at, I hope that they had their own separate toilets, because rest of the crowd, commentators, media,
They were not good
broadcasters,
toilets.
they have to share one.
It was not. Yeah, Pune.
What state? Pune.
Pune.
It's
Pune.
the worst
He
venue.
needed
He
a.
needed Pune.
So, that's not funny, is it? Did he make it back in time, or did he,
He
have
had
to
to.
retire?
He retired hurt.
God, he must have needed to go.
It was an incredible series.